Jay's Place, and we're talking
Barbershop talk.
yes, barbershop talk, where nothing is off limits and everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table. Barbershop talk. Come on, everybody. We're here at Jay's Place. Barbershop. We're talking barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Where nothing's off limits. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Everything's on the table. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Everything's on the table.
Barbershop Talk Live here at Jay's Place, Barbershop 1927 Olive Road. I am excited, overjoyed, overwhelmed. All the big words that I'm trying to say, just old-fashioned glad that you are here. Barbershop Talk Live is every Wednesday, but guess what? Tonight is Thursday, and we got a special edition, Barbershop Talk Live. So thank you, and thank you. Listen, Happy New Year. If I didn't see you this year, I'm glad you're here, but if you are in my radius or you close to me, can I give you a hug for joining in? Let me give you a hug. Thank you for joining Barbershop Talk Live. I am glad, as I said before, that you have tuned in. So listen, special edition Barbershop Talk Live this Thursday night. I'm asking you to call your friends, call them old church members, call that neighbor that got your lawnmower, didn't return your lawnmower. Call them up too. And even call your enemies to tune in to Barbershop Talk Live. As you always tell you, we are live. And when we live, anything can and will happen at Barbershop Talk Live. But listen, before we get started in our conversation, because again, a special guest has made his way into Barbershop Talk Live, I call the hot seat. But before we get into our conversation with our special guest, I want us to give a special shout out to the people behind the scene that put this program together. Who am I referring to? I'm talking about Demetrius Johnson. Right here in the CSRA, she has a product called Beverly's Body Butter. Whip, Senate, Shea Butter, mint, coconut, strawberry, island paradise, tropical paradise, all those many flavors. And it's whip, Senate, Shea Butter, and the butter is good for your skin, it's good for your hair, and also good for pain. Give her a call at 706-564-5335. Again, that's 706-564-5335. She's on TikTok. You got TikTok? She got a TikTok. Hit her up on TikTok, Melon Queen 1976. Again, Demetrius Johnson, Beverly's Body Butter. Also, CSRA, if you having a problem with your yard being maintained, those trees getting cut back, even if you got a 5-acre pond, call my good friend Alan Odom at Pond Maintenance right here in the CSRA. Magnificent company, great prices. Give them a call at 706-294-8493. Again, that's 706-294-8493. Alan Odom, Pond Maintenance. Tell him Jay's Place Barbershop Talk Live. Say you coming to get your deal. Looking forward to seeing you again. Don't forget about April the 20th. April the 20th will be here before you know it. What we talking about? Angelic Community Resource right here in Augusta, Georgia. HIV fundraiser we putting together. I'm talking about an old school 70s party. Who's on the lineup? Lynn. I'm talking about Linwood Homes and Sounds Unlimited will be on the stage. Matthew Davis and the Matthew Davis Band will be on the stage. Also, Nelson Curry, the Sugar Shack Man, will be here on the stage. We're going to give them all tell you, we're going to do it with more time with Troy Jackson, South Atlantic Band. So CSRA, I'm telling you, and especially you. Get your tickets. They're only $25 at the in advance, $35 at the door. Again, this is another fundraiser from our organization, Angelic Community Resource, where we primarily focus on HIV testing, HIV awareness, and HIV education. So again, April 20th at Augusta Common. You can give me a call at 706-726-2711 to get your tickets. But listen, don't you come without your Afro wig. Don't you come without your bell bottoms. Don't you come without them doggone fish in your shoes. I'm talking about we're going back to the old school 70s time. So let's have a good old time. Raise funds for HIV awareness, raise funds for HIV education, and raise funds for HIV awareness. So CSRA, get your tickets. Also go to Eventbrite to get your tickets. Stop by Jay's Place Barbershop 1927 to get your tickets. We're going to have an old-fashioned gas stone good time. And listen, How did I forget Waycross Slim said he'll be in the building? You want to see Waycross Slim? April 20th, he'll be at Augusta Common taking pictures for you, and especially you. But listen, I'm excited about my conversation with our special guest tonight. You have heard the announcements. Govern yourselves accordingly, and I'm looking forward to seeing you April the 20th at Augusta Common Saturday. Doors open at 3, show starts at 4 o'clock sharp. But without further ado, you are here not to see me. You are here to see the person that's on the stage tonight, and I'm talking about in the hot seats. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you and to you and to you. Who am I talking about? Garnett Mayor Johnson.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I am superb, John Milton. How are you?
Man, I'm good, man.
Good. Glad
Good
to be back at Barbershop Talk Live again.
Well, listen. Now, see, sometimes when I be telling people these stories, they don't believe me. So I'm going to tell a story that they
Please
just can't believe.
Tell them.
We've been crossing paths for a long time, but sometimes the stars line up just right, and we can get back in these hot seats.
That's right.
So I want to say that thank the good Lord that the stars line up perfect. Because your schedule is crazy.
It is crazy. Crazier than I ever imagined.
Your schedule is crazy. And some people don't believe my schedule is crazy too.
That's right.
But listen, the schedule worked itself out.
Work yourself out.
And you're here in the hot seat in Jay's place.
In the hot seat in Jay's place on Olive Road, across from the great Mount Vernon Baptist
Look
Church.
out. Look out.
Say it.
And look at, he didn't have to pay them for that. He said it on his own.
That's right.
Barbershop Talk Live again here at Jay's Place, Barbershop 1927. Listen, special guest tonight, as I said before, Mayor of Augusta, Georgia, Garnett Johnson. You have a special question for our guest or you have a comment for myself, give me a call. Give us a call at 706-426-1533. Again, that's 706-426-1533. Any and all questions can and will be answered. No question is off the table.
No questions off the table. I said it the first time I've been here, and I still stand by it.
Got to be. So can I get comfortable?
Of course you can.
Get
comfortable. This is your house. I'm a guest.
Let's get doggone comfortable. So normally what we do here at Barbershop Talk Live, CSRA World, what we normally do, we go through some preliminaries and kind of get to know the person and all that old,
Yes.
Stuff like that. But at this situation, I know you.
Yes, sir.
I know you. You know me. We cool. But I got to tell the people some stuff that I hold dear to my heart because I met you through a good friend of mine, Rod Pearson.
Yes.
And just so happened, Rod pulled up. Rod, what's up, Rod?
What's up,
All right, and listen, I don't know if the people can see, but we got about 25 people in the audience, and I think I had about another van. There's 32 people. Okay, we got another van just pulled up, so everybody's here to see Mayor Garnett Johnson. So thank you all for coming to the Barbershop Talk Live to see the mayor, ask questions, and get to know the person, know. So that being said, I already know who you are, so we're going to skip all this stuff.
Let's skip all
and we're just going to go on to the, to the conversation.
Come on with it.
Just a conversation.
All right.
So first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing well. As I mentioned earlier, the schedule's a lot busier than I anticipated. We're somewhere every day. I tell my wife and I tell my pastor, Reverend Clarence Moore, we may not be a good shepherd, but we're worshiping somewhere. Really excited about leading the city. Really excited about all the great things that we've started in 23, that we plan to continue in 24, all the great initiatives. So passionate about this city and this region, so passionate about collaboration, not only between Augusta and Columbia County, Richmond County and Columbia County, but the partnerships we're building across the river over North Augusta and Aiken. And I think we need that. When we work together as a region and in a collaborative effort, we're able to get things done, and that's who I am. That's what we've been focused on.
Okay. Now, I don't know if everybody know, this about you, and I did do some research, and I found this out a long time ago. So you are actually from Augusta.
I am from Augusta, born and raised down in, a lot of people refer to it as, some people say it's a negative connotation as the bottom. Some people call it the East View. That's where I'm from. That's where I love. East of East Boundary, born on Orange Street, raised there, went to Sambar Ferry Elementary School, went to East Augusta Middle School. Had some great mentors like Mr. Bill Prince and Mr. Lee Beard. And it's just a fun upbringing, hanging out in places where I probably shouldn't have, in Underwood Homes and Delta Manor and in Southside Terrace. And that's who I am. So in high school, my mother saw me getting in a bunch of trouble, hanging out in Underwood and Delta Manor. She made an executive decision to exercise school choice when there was no school choice. We couldn't afford to go to a private school, so she took a job driving a school bus, and her route happened to be Butler High School, and took me with her. She sat me down one Sunday and said, "Son, you hanging out with all these thugs and knuckleheads, getting in trouble every day. I'm going to change your friend group." And I went kicking and screaming. I love my mother, and that's one of the best decisions she's made to save my life. And I appreciate her dearly for that.
Well, thank God for Mom.
Thank God
Now,
for
now
mine.
again, as I said, you are from Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you, do you know where I'm from?
I know you from, of course. You from Waycross. You
I'm
from
from
down. You from down South Georgia.
Down at a big
I
little
just
town
saw
called
you.
Waycross,
You're right,
Georgia.
and I was in Atlanta yesterday, and the mayor from Waycross was
Okay.
at the Georgia Chamber's Eggs and Issues breakfast. I met him at the hotel. Well, I didn't meet him at the hotel. I saw him at the hotel because I've met him before.
You met Michael James?
Yes, sir. He was sharp too. You know, Michael James always a sharp man.
Listen, now I don't know if Michael was watching, but I'm gonna tell you a true story about Michael.
Okay.
Now this off the script, so this don't tell nobody I said this.
Okay,
Just
you
off the
got-
script. Don't
you
tell
got it.
nobody I said this.
All right.
When I was growing up, we all grew up in the little area back home, and Mike was one of the young pastors back home.
Still is pastor.
Still pastoring.
Yes, sir.
Mike was a young pastor,
Yep.
and at the church that I went to, I thought I had got the calling to be a preacher. Don't you tell nobody I said this. Now, to tell a soul I said this. So I got that notion, I got that unction to preach the word.
Yeah.
So guess what I did? I talked to the person at the church. I said, I want to preach one Sunday because we had youth Sunday every so often.
Okay.
So I said, talk to the lady. She said, okay, Tony Toos. She said, okay, you can do it on this particular Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
When I said it, I don't put my foot in my mouth. I can't go back now, right? True story.
Right.
Don't tell nobody I said it. So what happened? She said, okay, we're going to put you out for this Sunday. I said, all right, let's do it. So I had to find somebody to get me right. Michael James.
Michael James.
I got the
I'll
Michael.
make sure I'm gonna share that story.
I
with
told Mike, I said, Mike, I'm on this particular Sunday to preach. I need to make sure I don't want to look, get me right. He said, okay, you for real? I said, yeah. I said, God told me to preach. Don't tell nobody I said this. So when I got up there and me and Mike went to his church,
Okay.
got me in the front, empty church, we went to going over scripture, all that kind of stuff. And he said, well, normally what you do, you want to get up and either pray or sing a song. Mm-hmm. I said, I can't sing, but I'm going to try to sing.
You gotta try to hum a tune or something.
So I did, me and him was in the church and we did our thing and all that. So here come the Sunday.
Okay.
Here come the Sunday for me to preach.
Okay.
Man, I'm talking about, I looked out there, my mom, my grandma, my auntie, and everybody out there. I said, I don't know what I got myself into. I don't got the wrong.
Come on, wait a minute now. Tell me about the sermon. How'd you do it?
Well, the sermon was Matthew 22nd chapter. The bridegroom is coming. Trim your lambs.
What?
Get ready for the bridegroom is coming. And he made sure I remembered every look. And I was like, what? So when you see Michael James,
I want to see him.
he hit me with that. And I.
No, you ain't gonna do this.
I'm telling you.
How did this sermon go? Did you freeze up? Did it
Well,
go through?
well, once I get the mic, I'm a different person. So
That's right. So you know how to turn it on.
I turned it on and I did all that, and then my mama jumped up and down, my auntie and everybody was like, okay. Well, I gave me a couple of amens and all that.
Listen, you got the voice for it. In talking, telling the story, I see it brought back because you look like you get ready to preach now.
I'm ready to get the wife handkerchief and get the, but I ain't gonna do it. But that's Michael James. When you see him, you tell him.
Make sure I tell
I
Mary
promise
Jane
he'll
to
tell you, like, he really helped me with that sermon years ago.
You got it.
Might have been 15, 16 years old then.
That's amazing.
Don't tell nobody I said that.
I won't tell him.
Don't tell nobody I said that.
I'm telling.
Tell him, but don't tell nobody I said that.
Okay.
So that being said, my big little hometown, by way of Waycross, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. And when I got to Augusta, Garnett, I was amazed at the city of Augusta, and you probably was too, as you from Augusta, But back then, when stuff was happening, now stuff happening the way it is, it's a major change.
A lot of changes.
It's a major change, and now it seems like Augusta's going back to when I first moved here.
Yeah, we certainly had some challenges. I ran on the platform, and I tell everybody it still resonates with me today. I'm still passionate. It's growth, action, and results. We got to grow our city. We got to be actionable to the taxpayers, and then we need somebody who's results oriented and driven to that. And that's what I've always been. But I travel around the state a good bit. I'm quite sure you do too. Get down to Waycross when you visit other cities, peer cities. Like the Macon, the Columbuses, and the Savannahs. They seem to be moving and growing and going. However, Augusta, sometimes it makes me wonder as to where we're going. And so that's why I ran. I love this place. I voluntarily call Augusta home. This is the best place on earth to live, and I believe that. I've lived other places, but no place better than Augusta.
Okay, now we don't got through the formalities. We don't got through all the pretty pageantry and all that kind of stuff. So now we're gonna expound on what you just said.
Yep.
You love Augusta.
Love it.
You like what's going on, what's happening, all that kind of stuff. But for the people that's coming here, they're like, what kind of place is this? The commissioners can't get along. The school board can't get along. They closing down schools. They doing this to the city, this to this. How in the hell you like this city when all this crazy stuff is going on around you? Garnett, let me tell you now, this is what I'm trying to get to the point where when I get up in the morning, I come down Riceboro Road, and I come down Hurd Avenue, I come down Olive Road, got to be more careful. I need a canoe instead of a truck.
Right.
I'm got to go through floods. I got to go through sometimes the street lights ain't working. But then you sat there and looked into that camera and you told those people at Barbershop Talk Live World that you love this city. So apparently what you did, can I ask this question?
Sure.
Do you regret running?
No,
do you
not
regret
at all.
winning?
If I could do it all again, I'd do it tomorrow. Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell you why I love this city.
Talk to me now.
You know, you got this odor that hangs over Augusta. That doesn't bother me, because when I see the potential, when I go to other places, politics is gonna be politics. I don't care where you go now. You go to the most beautiful places on earth. Behind the scenes, you got politics that are entwined in local living. We have that in Augusta. However, our governance is wrong. You know, you take a look at how our government runs, and it's dysfunctional in the sense that, you know, we had a charter that was hastily put together back in 1995, 1996 has never been addressed. That's a problem I think we can resolve. We can fix it. It's my job as the mayor to make sure that we always have a positive outlook as to what we can become, what we can be, and not give up. Ain't no giving up. You can't throw in the towel. This is Augusta.
But
This is home.
but again, my mayor, when you sworn in, when you said what you're gonna do for the city, what you say you're gonna do for the people and the whole surrounding, I guess some people don't see that. And when I say you don't see that, because let me tell you, can I go back?
Let's go back.
I'm gonna go back. Let me go
Let's
back.
go back.
In the earlier days of not your administration, but the earlier days, there was always stuff in the barbershop. The conversation goes around and say, well, first of all, the problem is they got too many white folks down there. Ain't no black folks down there. Ain't no black folks in the commission, man. The white folks doing everything they want to do, they going to do it, so why vote? We need some black folks down there to get the stuff done. So, well, you know, me listening, I'm just okaying it, just saying what they're saying. So that was a talk for years.
That's right.
So God dog it, now guess what we got?
We got black folks in charge.
We got a black mayor.
Got a black mayor, black sheriff.
We got a black
marshal.
sheriff, black administrator. We got all these folks in key positions.
And we still can't get nothing.
Ain't nothing getting done.
Ain't nothing getting done.
But God dog it. But then you just told me you love this city.
I love it.
How you love this city? Ain't nothing getting done.
Because I love the opportunity of having a discussion about how we make it better. You know, early on in my administration, I made a pledge that our governance does not work. I went to the legislative delegation and said, how do we fix it? I propose perhaps giving the mayor a vote. I think it's wrong, and I think it's a disenfranchising of the voters to where the mayor, for some reason, is not allowed to vote because people get up and walk out of the room or they abstain. That hinders process and progress. It delays action being taken to help us move this city forward. So I went up and I said, you know, this charter that was created by the people, that was hastily put together, Augusta is the only consolidated government that does not have a charter review committee. You're probably saying, what's that? It's a committee that kind of comes together and look at our governance and how it works and how it doesn't work. And periodically you take a look and say, how do we fix it? And I've pledged any fixes that are made to this charter, to this city, need to be taken to the voters of Augusta, Richmond County. We got to get it to them. Right now, there are conversations about, no, we don't need to get it to them because those that are in power are saying, you know what, I kind of like things the way they are, but I ain't about that. I'm a change agent. I pledge to try to make Augusta better, and I think it starts with having a conversation by letting the voters decide. And that's what I'm all about.
John,
Okay.
I
Got a question?
A view named Ellis Campbell. He said, for what you were saying, what Mayor was saying is, we can't give up. We got to keep fighting.
Can't give up.
You just can't give up. He said we can't get along and stuff not getting done in the community. If you give up, nothing will happen. Mayor said it best. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to make changes here. You got to make changes there. For as in already tied up votes and stuff, you need someone to break that tie.
Okay, now that again, to me, and maybe to the Barbershop Talk Live world, that might sound good because what we need now, even though I'm from Waycross, Georgia, by way of St. Louis,
Okay.
the Show Me State.
Show a mistake.
God doggone show me
How
something.
you go from St. Louis down to where?
That's a long ride.
That's a flight, boy.
So I need to show. I need you to show me something. And let me kind of give you this visual. Sometimes you can show me something when I have a problem with the flood. You can show me by putting a bulldozer out there on the side of the road. You can show me something by putting a sign say this is your 1 cent sale tax at work. You can show me something by doggone just digging a hole in the ground. You can show me something by putting a plunger on the side of the road. Just show me something. But I ain't seeing nothing to make me think that what y'all telling me gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Because now, guess what now? That's why people don't vote.
Well, you're probably right, but I tell you now, and I have a big problem with voting, especially if you're African American. You know, I tell everybody we've only been voting for a generation and a half. You realize that? You know, back in the 50s and 60s, people called hell for just the right to vote. So we're getting ready to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King weekend. Look back at our grandparents and the challenges they faced by doing some of the simplest things of going to eat at a restaurant, being able to use a bathroom, to drink out of a water fountain. Now we've gotten to a place to where we have the right to vote. You can live anywhere you want to live, not only in Augusta, but anywhere in this country. Nowhere is no longer segregated to where people who want to live someplace can live that place. So voting, believe it or not, is the way to affect change. We have to teach young people, when you turn 18, we have to start engaging them at younger ages on how voting changes things. Okay. And it starts at the local level. Every vote is important. I don't care if it's for a bond referendum. I don't care if it's for some of the simplest things, but making sure that your voice is heard helps to affect change that you want to see change.
Okay, now when you said about the older generation, how they had to fight for the vote, and they had to, some people died for the vote.
A lot of people died for the vote.
So when you're talking about that, and now we come to where we are now, and it's hard to get people to vote because the older folks said nothing happened. So now
I don't want to say that.
Well, I mean, if you want to,
I think people are just complacent now because, as you mentioned, now we can live where we want to live. We can go sit and eat at any restaurant we want to eat at. We could, enjoy the fruits of the labor of those who kind of came before us, and I think they're just now just disengaged. They're disengaged because of a number of things. Because I think they're just sitting by, waiting and letting life go by. Yet there's still a struggle that's going on. Did you know that? There's still challenges to vote. There's still challenges to access to great education. Still challenges to access to create small businesses. All those things still exist, and you could change it by engaging in the voting process. Every vote counts. A lot of people say it doesn't count. You have a lot of elections that, were like in Georgia, for example. Our last vote for U.S. Senate, Senator Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker. Do you realize less than 50,000 people decided that race? And that was scary. So we need every vote. It's scary. So, yeah.
CSRA Barbershop Talk Live Radio. You got a question for our special guest, Mayor Garnett Johnson. You got a special a question or a comment for myself, put the question on the screen. We'll answer any and all questions. You can also give us a call, 706-426-1533. Again, that's 706-426-1533. Remember, any and all questions is off the table. No question is all level. We answer all the questions. So give us a call. Get into the conversation. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
There's something that I said to you a long time ago when I first met you, and I remember I said I met you by a good friend of mine, Rod Pearson, and so Rod was praising you. Rod, I'm talking about, he was praising you from the hills of Stone Mountain of Georgia. He was praising you. I mean, when I tell you he was praising you, he made sure, man, this guy gonna be the next mayor. This is a good guy. I'm telling you, you need to talk with him. You need to meet him. Right. Telling me all that. I said, all right, well, let me meet him. So as you remember when I met you, and everything was good and up and up. But do you remember what I used to tell you?
You said, don't fool me.
I said, don't fool me now. I said, if you fool me, you're doing a good job.
I'm doing a good job. You said, don't fool me.
I said, if you fooling me, boy, you talking that good talk.
And I told you, I said, what you see is what you get. We don't play no games. We don't have any reason. We don't have any agenda to play any games.
I just remember.
I don't have any desire to do nothing but make Augusta better. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm passionate about change. I'm passionate about making sure that our government is open and accessible and inclusive for anybody who wants to run for office. That's important. We shouldn't have political kingdoms running our city. It should be anybody who feels as though they're qualified to run for office should be able to go qualify without the fear of somebody ganging up and working against you.
So are you telling me that you're trying to get rid of nepotism?
I won't say nepotism, but I just want to make a more competitive and inclusive process to where competition, I believe, makes our democracy stronger. Sometimes you get people that sit in these seats for a long time, they tend to get more complacent and they tend to build what I consider these political dynasties. Political dynasties oftentimes do not create an environment to where we're given the opportunity to grow. It does not create an environment where we have differences of opinions to be able to express yourself freely as to how we can make a community better. So that's why I ran. That's who I am.
Okay, again, if you're fooling me, you're doing a good job.
Well,
Rob, if he's fooling me, he's doing a good job because he been talking some good stuff. But now listen, Mayor. I want to continue this conversation, but can I pay a bill?
Let's pay a bill.
I got to pay a bill because we don't pay this bill. These lats gonna
You
get
got
turned
to
off.
pay this bill. And I like how you remembered all these phone numbers for all your great sponsors. You're doing a good job.
I remember everything, God, and that come from White Cross.
Good. Okay.
That come from White. So again, let me pay a bill.
Let's pay a bill.
Listen, seriously, you got a question? Okay. When we come back off this break, I got to pay this bill.
Let's pay it.
CSRA Barbershop Talk Live World. Listen, I want to bring your attention to the screen. I got a good friend of mine right here in the CSRA. She has a company called Because Butterflies Are Blue. Shantae Bradley is her name. She's big in the CSRA as taking care of these little girls and making sure they'll get accomplish their dreams, their goals, aspiration to get influence. So I want you to pay attention to the screen as you watch the video, support what she's doing, get behind what she's doing. She does a lot of things right in the CSRA, feeding the homeless. I'm talking about clothing them. Again, my good friend Shantae Bradley, Because Butterflies Are Blue. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, we are back again. My good friend Shantae Bradley right here in the CSRA. She has an organization called Because Butterflies Are Blue. Again, support what she's doing. A lot of things she's doing here in the CSRA, supporting the young girls, trying to make a difference in their lives, feeding the homeless, clothing them, giving them education. So I encourage you, and especially you, to go to the website, get a phone number, and be a supporter of her. Support what she's doing for the girls in the CSRA. Again, Because Butterflies Are Blue is the name of the organization. Shantae, Jermaine's wife, Bradley. Thank you again. Now, okay, we're back.
Let's go.
We're back. But before I get to the next question, Mayor, if you don't mind, and as you can see, I have a lot of questions to ask you.
All right.
I got a lot of questions. So but I want to get to the floor and get to the people that's watching. I think we had a comment from the floor.
Yeah, we got a viewer asking, how do we bridge the gap with the youth? How do we bridge the gap with the youth?
You know, that's a great question. If you look at some of the things that we're doing throughout the schools, we have a lot of mentoring programs, whether it be the 100 Black Men of Augusta. We have the Girls and Boys Club. But as you look at and hear in the news, we still have some serious challenges as it relates to our middle and high schools, especially with discipline. I take an old school approach. As I told you, I was a knucklehead growing up, but my mother would take a beating to you if you got out of line. Unfortunately, a lot of these kids don't have that discipliner in their family, that person that could lead the charge, making sure that they're doing the things that they should be doing. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's left to our school system. A lot of these teachers, a lot of these educators, a lot of these paraprofessionals. And so we need to get the faith-based community more engaged in helping our kids. And I know that's a tough challenge. That's a high ask. You know, a lot of people now, they throw up their hands and say, you know what, I don't want to be involved with the youth because they're so disrespectful. Their language sometimes is not the most becoming. But I tend to see the glass more half full than half empty. I think there's, again, those that don't give up, that really engage the youth, to try to create pathways for them opportunities through career choices will benefit us. As mayor, we've created, especially for the high schools, Augusta was named one of 5 hub workforce cities by the Biden administration to show that not everyone who's going to college, that there are pathways to good paying jobs. So we're excited about that, but we certainly could do better when it comes to how our kids are, I don't want to say performing, but some of the discipline problems that we're having in some of our schools.
Okay. Now, a lot of times, Mr. Johnson, when the guest is coming on, I do poll the audience, I do poll the community, I do poll the customers that come to Jay's Place Barbershop, 1927 Olive Road.
1927.
And so what happens when I poll them, they give me these questions.
Okay.
So I think the guy wearing the green shirt, the blue shirt guy, he told me to ask this question, but I jotted it down.
That's right.
I jotted it down. So green shirt told me to ask this question.
All right.
So this is not my question.
All right.
This is the people question.
Come on with it.
So the people want to know, why is the lady that's been doing this position for 2+ years and not being considered for the city administrator? Why are we going outside to get somebody that's already inside? So it seems to me, again, this not my question. This coming from the flow. This is from the flow.
Come from the flow.
I can't come up with these questions.
I'm glad, and that's a great question.
So again, the city is up to the uproar because remember, you said you love this city.
I love this city.
You love this place that you was born and raised in. But it seems to me that the I don't know if it's the powers that be that got a person right here in this position, the guy in the green shirt asked this question.
That's right.
A person that's been in the position for 2+ years,
That's right.
maintaining the city, got the city going budget-wise in the right direction, and all of a sudden her name ain't on the list.
Well, I can tell you why.
Got to be more careful before you ask that question.
Okay. All right.
It ain't my question. It's the people question.
Well, it's the people question.
The people want to know.
That's a great question. So, as you know, our job as elected leaders is to find the best, most highly qualified person for any job, especially an important role like administrator, to move Augusta forward. When I look at the applicants that applied, I personally looked at, and this is my job as mayor to make a recommendation to the commission to consider and to vote. So when I looked at the experience, I realized at a time like this, when we aren't able to do some of the things like you mentioned, the flooding, some simple things of mowing the grass, picking up the litter, wondering how we're going to make our obligations as a result of us losing some ARP money in the fiscal year 2024. We needed experience. So I looked at the candidates that applied, those that had the most experience, who interviewed well. I decided that it was in the best interest of the city to put them up, and those were my recommendations. That is what I'm tasked to do within the charter. It says the mayor has the ability to present up to 3 candidates to the commission for them to determine. And based on my assessment, I put up the most highly qualified candidates regardless of race. I didn't make a single or a specific recommendation, as I believe strongly that all 3 were well qualified to lead the city of Augusta, and I stand on that.
Okay, so now I'm not sure, but maybe the people in the CSRA Barbershop Talk Live World want to know, what is the main job of the city administrator?
Main job of the city administrator is to run the day-to-day operations of the city. They're responsible for being the lead for most of the department heads, as well as the overall mission and those that are and goals that are set forth by the Augusta Richmond County Commission and the mayor. So it's an unfortunate position that you have all of the authority, but yet you have none of the power to really get anything done. You have many department heads that report to you, but you can't hire and fire them. And I've fought hard, after getting elected, to see if we could change that. This person who operates in that job should have full autonomy to hire and fire and to run this city. That prevents the micromanaging of a mayor or the commissioner or anybody else.
So the city administrator bring the recommendations to the commission for us whatever it costs for this, whatever it costs for that.
Yes, sir.
And then you all make a decision. When I say you all, I mean the commission make a decision on the recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they recommend fix the flood.
Yes, sir.
And they might say, well, not right now. Let's go take care of Washington Road.
Let's just see how we find the money to do it. I don't want to say take care of Washington Road. We just need to find the money. That's right. What's the funding source to get it done?
Okay. So let me ask you, we got a question from the floor?
To the mayor. He said, what is your vision on economic growth in Augusta in regards on new major companies setting up shop in our city?
I think that's a great question. As you know, I serve on the state board for Georgia Department of Economic Development, where for 10 years in a row, Georgia's been known as the #1 state in which to do business. Unfortunately, I feel strongly that even though we've had some great wins with Arubis, who's actually under construction now, their copper smelting facility, we have lagged behind in the efforts of other parts of the state, and it's evident. And it's been because there's not been a lot of collaboration around the region. Most of the other cities that are winning, they've partnered together many agencies and kind of combined their economic development efforts. If you look at what they've done down in Savannah with Bryan, Effingham, Bullock, Chatham County, they have a new Hyundai facility. It's almost $11 billion investment in that region. If you haven't been down I-16, it looks like they're building an airport, but that is a huge boon for Savannah, along with, the Georgia Ports Authority. If you look at what they're doing outside Atlanta over in Walton County, where they have Walton and Newton and Rockdale, how they've combined their efforts to bring a Rivian facility. All of those projects took collaboration. So what we need to do, first in Augusta, we don't have enough inventory. You probably wonder, what is inventory? Inventory is land that's readily available to attract these large industries or larger industries that create jobs. Our corporate park is almost full with Rivian, and I think there's another called, I don't think, there's another one called Denkai North America, and then there's another recycler that's coming. We don't have any inventory where if a large company wanted to come and develop in Augusta, we don't have the land for it. So we need to find more inventory to create what I consider a job-ready site so that we can attract some of these major companies to this region. I believe strongly that economic park or economic engine needs to be driven through south of Richmond County. It ties us closer to the ports of the things they're doing down in Savannah. It gives us an opportunity to grow to our south Richmond County corridor. And it gives us an opportunity to help create more lifestyle amenities for those who live out in South Augusta.
Yeah.
Tory up anyway, taking up most of that land.
Yeah. Mr. Johnson, do you think, or are you sure? Because again, you coming from Augusta, you were born and raised here, and you've seen all the things that's been going on through your lifetime. And 2-part question.
Okay. Who
influenced you to do what you do now, and do you think that you are a role model? Who influenced you? Because coming from where you came from, you don't just wake up want to be the mayor. You don't wake up want to get in politics. So who had to influence you to get to this point where you at now? And now that you're here, do you feel that you're in a role model position?
Well, I can tell you the person that influenced me the most has to be my mother. That's the strongest human being that I know in that. She grew up with a challenging environment here over in Southside Terrace, one of 10 siblings. And, people often ask you, where do you get it from? You don't know anything about me. I'm never satisfied with anything. If you tell me I can't do something, that motivates me to want to do something. It's how I started a business, and so I guess I got the gift of never being complacent, never being satisfied. Probably comes from my mother. I tell everybody, I think I said this at my inauguration speech. She has the heart of a lamb, and that she's always trying to be compromising and get things done. But then I got the fierceness of my dad, who was a hell raiser, and wanting to fight. And I know how to mix it up and want to do those things, but I think you get more done by trying to work together and try to take a more productive route to get things done than arguing and hell raising. But your second part of your question, help me remind me, because I'm sitting here thinking about my mother.
You consider to be a role model? You consider yourself to be a role model?
I think I do, but I never think of it that way because I look at the things that I've been able to accomplish in life based on where I come from. I like to be a beacon of light to others, to show them that there is a path to being successful without, unfortunately, doing more unproductive things. And I tell everybody, I grew up downtown in the bottom. I was a few prayers from prison myself. I understand the lure of the streets when you're this young, poor black African American that sometimes idolize other things than more productive things to be successful. I was fortunate that my mother took a very active role in keeping me out of trouble, and she prayed for me often. I didn't always listen. Then I had a father who was I don't want to say absent in my life, but he took a different approach. He was a hard working man. He's a hard driving man. So I appreciate him in instilling a work ethic in me that still exists to this day. There aren't many people that will outwork me or out hustle me on anything. So I had the fortunes of this dynamic life to have these parents to instill these values and to be from the streets. know how to hustle it up. You know how to get that mix. It's a powerful combination.
Hey man, I commend you in your humbleness, cause you came here last time on the show, running for your position, and you was very humble about that, and I looked at you as a role model, cause I run my own little I'm a little entrepreneur. I'm a DJ. I got a DJ business, and I hustle and I bustle and I make sure I try to do the right thing, whatever the case may be. And I look at you. You're a successful businessman. You in politics, and you're a black man. You're doing a positive thing, and I think that's very, very humble of you, being so humble about what you do and your accolades.
Yeah, you know, people didn't know. I often hear that we don't know who Garnett Johnson is. Never heard of him. I was intentional on my part. You know, I was focused on one, feeding my family. You know, when you take this courageous leap to want to be a small business owner, it is a courageous leap, man. When you're a working age, you're giving up the safety net of a job and a good paying career to say, you know what, I think I'm gonna try to make a pathway of my own, independent of working for the man. It's one of the scariest experiences, but I did it. I did it with the encouragement of a great wife, and then that's pretty much it. My mother and my father told me not to do it, but I realized that, you know, so long as I had a hand in it, I believe I could make a go of it. And then it takes blessings from the Lord. You know, you pray, you dig a little deeper, and all you know, entrepreneurship is not easy. You know, it takes, I tell people every day, and I'm going to say it takes nuts and guts to want to do it, you know.
Okay. Question 6.
Okay.
All right. Now, being from Augusta, you've been here all your life, and you like I said, you had some good upbringing, some bad upbringing, you had some rough times.
Rough times.
What would Garnett Johnson now tell the 20-year-old Garnett Johnson in his 20s? Because if you look back at what you've been through, and could you see where you at now? What would you tell that Garnett Johnson at the age 20?
I would tell him be a little bit more patient in that, you know, I dropped out of college because, you know, I just didn't, and I'll tell people, I just wasn't focused mentally. I wasn't prepared academically. So I took this different pathway to finish in school. I think I graduated college like 28. I worked a full-time job. And, you know, once you kind of have these pauses in life, you can't just drop everything you're doing and go back to college. So after realizing that I needed to go back, I went to school at night on a tuition reimbursement plan at a paper mill. And I think that just taught me resilience and patience. And it taught me how to dig a little deeper and to earn it. And that's what I did. So I earned a college degree as a non-traditional student. And I realized that I have a knack for being able to put very complicated, very complex deals together. I love business. I love creating deals. I love creating value for my customers. So I couple that with the street upbringing, learning and, you know, the street mentality and, you know, learning complex relationships as it relates to, you know, urban environments, and it's been a great benefit to me.
Okay. Shante Pound?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Listen, seriously, if you got a question for our special guest, Mayor Garnett Johnson, again, give us a call at 706-426-1533. You got a question for myself, give me a call at the same number, 706-426-1533. Mr. Johnson, I got a question for some of these older folks. I'm talking about the older folks. We're here on question 7. And the older folks, we always supposed to listen to the older folks.
That's right.
And the old folks say, I'm just sick and tired.
Don't give up.
They say they just sick and tired. And I said, Mom Johnson, what you mean you're sick and tired? They say, I'm sick and tired of these folks out here lying to us. They keep raising our taxes. They ain't fixing my side of town, but they want me to go down there and vote. And every time they want me to go down there and vote, guess what? It's raining. I'm sick of these folks. I'm just sick and tired. So what do you say to the folks that's sick and tired of all these so-called sick and tired stuff?
Well, it's sick and tired because you've been electing the same people back to back. It's time to.
Wait a minute. Now hold on. Did you say that?
I said it. You keep electing the same people, and then the people that you don't elect, you allow the people that are leaving office to tell you who to vote for. We need some independent-minded voters. We need better candidates. We need stronger candidates.
So you saying we need to change? We need to change.
We need to change. We need to take a look at some of these people that have new, bright ideas, to give them an opportunity. Hear their story. Hear their song. I mean, we need to encourage people who are not involved in the process, that's always complaining, to get involved.
Okay, so now this is your first full year in office.
First full year.
And you what's your term?
4 years. I got 3 years left.
You got 3 years left.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna do a little crazy adding. What is the city of Augusta looking forward to for the next 5 years? So when I say the next 5 years, and I know you say you got 4 in the books.
Got 4 in the books.
So that being said, are we looking for major? I'm talking about major. I'm talking about somebody say Bucket's coming this way.
Well, I don't know about Bucket's coming to Augusta because we really don't have a lot of interstate property for them to come, but they may be coming to the region.
Okay.
Yeah, they may be coming to the region. I'm not going to sit there and make a pledge and promise that they're coming to Richmond County because if you look at our I-20 corridor, we only have about 10 or 12 miles of corridor, and most of that's already busy. But they're certainly looking at some other areas within the region, but not in Richmond County.
Okay. All right. I got to skip to question 10 because I'm going to question 10.
You got it.
Now, do you have a good relationship with the police department, the Richmond Sheriff Department? And when I say that, because most of the times those different organizations, they work good with each other. So that being said, Augusta has been known as one of the main thoroughfare with all the abductions, the kidnappings and all that. And when they get in this part of the country, I mean, they go everywhere. So what is going on between you, the Sheriff Department, Roundtree, or whoever to probably stop some of this stuff that's going on? Because again, when they get here, they probably don't see them no more, or that's it.
Well, the sheriff and I have a great relationship in that he and I had the opportunity of going on a show to talk about how we can improve, the conditions in our jail, not only for those who work there, but those who are incarcerated. Because keep in mind, those who are in the Richmond County Charles B. Webster Detention Center are there and they're not guilty. Well, they haven't been proven guilty. Our justice system says that you're innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, the conditions of the jail puts their lives at risk. So he and I had a conversation about how we can improve that. As a commission, we've taken action to allocate some funding to kind of help repair some of the issues that they're having in the jail. There were complaints about not having heat, and there were complaints about just the overall conditions. We're trying to address that. We certainly need a new jail pod. And we don't need a new jail pod to lock more people up. We need a new jail pod so we can have extra space so that we could properly repair some of the space that we have. And also to be able to, if we need to exercise the law to have people locked up, we got to have the ability to do that. So we have to be able to say that and provide a safe, secure county for all of our residents. And so I'm supportive of that, having the ability to add an additional jail pod, because I see the inquiries that are coming in from the state, how our numbers are always over what they should be. And we've been served with several notices from not only the governor's office, but the Department of Corrections about the numbers that are in the jail, and we need to make improvements there.
Okay, so there's talks to make some improvements for here in the area.
Great talks, and the sheriff and I we communicate frequently about how we can work together to make sure that our community is safe. That's most important. How is our community safe, and how we can work together to make sure that we're taking care and meeting the needs of the citizens of Augusta, Richmond County.
Now, Mr. Johnson, please don't forget. I want to remind you again that I am from Waycross, Georgia, by way of St. Louis.
Yeah.
Want to see some stuff.
You want to see it.
Because, again, I'll be the first to come on Barbershop Talk Live, 1927 Olive Road with Jay's Place Barbershop, and let the people know. Because when you in the hot seat, we can roll these tapes back.
And hopefully you're already seeing it.
We can roll this stuff back and say, well, he said it.
Roll it back. Look at what we've done the first year. We've had visits by the First Lady of the United States twice. We've been named one of 5 hub workforce cities. You want to know the other 4? You got Baltimore, Maryland, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbus, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And no, don't say little old Augusta. Then you got Augusta. Don't say little old. You got Augusta up in that mix. You know what they
Augusta,
said?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Big old Augusta.
Beautiful big old Augusta up in that mix. And that's a lot of work that I credit through the mayor's office. I don't want to take all the credit. I'm going to tell you, my predecessor, Hardy Davis, established some great relationships in Washington, D.C., and he took me to Washington, and I'm hopefully carrying the torch and making sure we maintain those relationships to move Augusta forward.
Okay, so we're gonna make sure that what you're saying is true to form, because as I told you earlier when I first met you, if you're fooling me, you're doing a good job. And CSRA Barbershop Talk Live World, he's been doing a good job. I can co-sign that, but please don't fool the people.
You ain't gonna fool the people.
Don't fool the people, because again, when it's time to go down to the polls and vote,
that's right.
And we're looking for that vote to keep this city going in the right direction, whether it's you or your commission board. We want to get the right people on there.
That vote's coming up on May 21st.
May 21st, you got another election coming up?
Yeah, May 21st. Yes, sir.
What election of what?
It's the mayor of Augusta should have a full vote on all actions taken on our commission floor.
So you want to be able to have the final vote to break the tie?
No, I don't want a final vote. I just need an equal vote.
You want an equal vote?
Equal vote. Right now, I have the right to vote only in the event of a tie. But as I told you earlier, there are ways that they prevent me from voting by getting up, walking out of the room, or abstaining. And that's a travesty to our democracy. Do you realize in my absence, we have a mayor pro tempore that serves in my absence? So if I'm absent for a meeting, mayor pro tempore, Mr. Brandon Garrett serves in mine. He gets a full vote.
Mayor Pro Tem does.
He gets a full vote.
But the mayor doesn't.
The mayor does not.
So that goes back to what I said on question 6. Old folks are just sick and tired.
Sick and tired.
So we sick and tired. So
sick and tired.
How long? So this vote is coming up on May?
May 21st.
May 21st.
I need you to vote yes.
CSRA Barbershop Talk Live World Audience, you heard what he said. May the 21st, there's going to be a vote on the table to decide whether the mayor has the deciding vote or
Not
a majority
a deciding vote. Not a majority vote. An equal vote.
An equal vote.
Which I'm entitled to. I am the only at-large, countywide elected member of the Augusta-Richmond County Commission. There's nobody else that serves on that commission that's elected by the entire body. I am the only member, yet I'm not allowed to vote. You have a district commissioner get up and walk out of a meeting or vote present that prevents me from voting.
So in other words, you just a figurehead.
Well, that's what they say, but we don't take that. We try to get things done anyway. We ain't going to take that.
Okay, so I want to make sure you're not a figurehead.
Not a figurehead.
You're a person that get his hands dirty.
That's right. We're going to do that.
Get down there and get the job done.
Mix it up.
You and Tony.
Yes, sir.
And who is Tony?
You talking about the bride. Talking about Miss Tony Seals Johnson. Don't lie, that's my bride, boy. That's my home girl. Ooh, what you talking about?
I would be remiss by that.
What you talking about?
I'm sorry, Tony.
Man?
I'm sorry. She's watching. I'm sorry, Tony.
Oh my goodness, that's the boss.
Yeah.
She's the one who follows me on all these crazy journeys. Yes.
I got you. All right. Well, listen. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Now, listen. Are you accessible? That's the question. We want to know, are you? Because sometimes when we get these positions, that people say, I got an open door policy. You can come see me anytime. When any question, any concern you have, come see me. I will make sure I'll get the address, your concerns addressed.
I think I have a track record of being accessible to anyone who calls my office. And keep in mind now, we get hundreds of calls about a lot of things. But we're fortunate that we're able to address most of them. I'm always accessible to the community. Every third Friday we put on this Food Truck Friday event that's been well received to the community. I encourage everybody to come out. All right. It's going to come up on Sunday this month because we're actually going to be in a conference. So January 21st on Sunday, we're going to do it at the same place, at corner of Windsor Spring and Tobacco Road. We're maintaining a location out there. Some people call it a campaign headquarters. I just call it a gathering spot for us all to come together and just to eat and fellowship and have a great time.
Real quick question. Won't you do it twice a month? I love it.
Well, I agree, and we thought about that, but it is so much work coordinating the food trucks and being there and all the other events. So that's why we decided we're going to do it once a month. That's right.
So let me ask this now. Now I've been to that food truck many times.
Right.
Me and my wife enjoyed it, and we had a great time meeting the people, just socializing. I see you all the time. Mm-hmm. So if for the ones that hasn't had the chance to come to the food truck festival and just enjoy the whole surrounding of it, all this food we got here, what about the people downtown up under the bridge don't have no food? What is the city doing for those folks? Because it's crazy. We out here on Tobacco Road eating ourselves to sleep.
I agree.
But the folks downtown ain't got a piece of chicken to put in their hand.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably because that's elective. There are plenty programs and there's plenty of organizations that's there to help. I don't think anybody can be homeless and hungry in Augusta, because if you look at the food kitchens, some of the great programs that are being offered on a day of service on MLK Day. On Monday, we're going to have a day of service where we're going to feed the homeless. Every day there's lunch at the Master City Soup Kitchen. Every single day. There's Gap Ministries. There's the Salvation Army that serves hot meals every single day. So we just got to be able to get people to those resources if they want to be there. I can't believe that if you're hungry in Augusta, there's no place to eat. There's plenty of places to eat in Augusta.
Okay. Well, I've got another question from the floor.
Because Mel correct, he's right about that, because me and some other DJs, we go down there and we serve up under the bridge. We go over there by the Salvation Army. We pass out meal all the time. And when I go out there, it be so many people passing out food, passing out toiletry, all types of stuff. Like Mel said, it's just the ones that don't apply or serve themselves to get this stuff. So there's no hungry. It should be no hungry people in Augusta. Because they're getting served.
Plenty of opportunities to eat.
And please, everybody, don't stop serving them, though.
Don't
Okay.
stop.
So Augusta is St. Louis.
I don't know if Augusta's St. Louis. I think we're a little bit better than St. Louis. I tell you, I think this is the best place on earth to live.
Okay. All right.
I stand by that.
I got you. I still want to see it.
Okay.
By way of Waycross.
All right. Wait.
CSOA Barbershop Talk Live World. I enjoyed the conversation with the mayor of Augusta. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Listen, before we get out of here, I got to do something for you for tuning in to Barbershop Talk Live. Remember, this is a special edition of Barbershop Talk Live where the special guest, Mayor Garnett Johnson, took the time out to come into the hot seat, have a conversation.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, one thing I'm going to do, I got to give away some prizes. I got to give away some. Listen, I'm going to give away a brand new Barbershop Talk Live t-shirt. Listen. Barbershop Talk Live here at Jay's Place, Barbershop 1927 Olive Road. I got a t-shirt to give away. Also, I got a hat from Divine Health Water. My good friend Garfield Jackson, 2743 Tobacco Road, Suite B. He has a hat he want to donate, so all the person that's paid attention to the conversation, listen, you got the question right, you get the items, you get the items, you get the items. 2 questions.
2 questions.
2 simple questions. Might be a nerd, but just 2 questions. The first question is, what project did he grow up in? He paid it. He said it. If you paid into the conversation, you better get the question right. Remember, that's the first question. The second question is simple. What is his wife's name? Got to be more careful. If you don't know those questions, shame on you. You should have paid to the conversation. Barbershop Talk Live again. The first question is, what project did he grow up in? Second question is, what is the name of his wife? And she don't play. She don't play the radio. So listen, Barbershop Talk Live, I appreciate you for joining the Barbershop Talk Live conversation. We just had a good old conversation.
You did.
Listen, again, the mayor of Augusta right here, he is touchable. He's tangible. He's a real person. So when you see him out and about, say, hey, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
I think he'll say hey back to you.
I will.
And he might say, tell your mama I say hey too.
You got it. Grandmama too. Granddaddy, everybody.
All there, because you know everybody. Again, next week, our special guest right here in the hot seat, my good friend, Jamal Brigham, Kia of Augusta.
Oh, wow.
Be right here in this hot seat. See, listen, if you're looking for a car, new or used, give us a call at 706-426-1533. We'll have him right here in the hot seat. Get your question, get your concerns answered. Again, next week in the hot seat, Jamal Brigham, Kia of Augusta, will be in the hot seat.
All right.
Listen, we got an answer to the question?
Well, we got a part of the question. First of all, Tony Jackson said hello. First of all, Tony Jackson said hello. We got Linda Walker. She says Tony. We got Elders Campbell said Delta Manor. Delta Manor. Yeah.
That's kind of, is that a bingo? That's not a real bingo. We can't award. We can't award that.
Want to split the.
No, he can't be splitting. You got to listen. The first question is, what housing project did he grow up in?
Elders.
And the second question is, what is the name of his wife? You got the answer to the question? If not, we'll check the answers later on tonight on the we do a podcast rewind. Again, thank you for tuning in to Barbershop Talk Live. To our special guest behind the scene, the Beverly's Body Butter. Give her a call at 706-564-5335. Also, my good friend Alan Odom, Pond Maintenance, 706-294-8493. Get your pond maintained, get your lawn cut, and get them trees pruned. Don't forget about April the 20th. Right here in Augusta, Georgia, Augusta Common, the old school 70s party. Remember, it's an HIV fundraiser. We're raising funds for education, testing, and awareness. Again, April the 20th, Linwood Homes, Nelson the Sugar Shack Man, Troy Jackson, also Matthew Davis will be on stage. And maybe don't forget about Waycross Slim will be in the building also. So again, to all my 20, I think we got about 28 people in the audience right there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming to Barbershop Talk Live. We'll see you next week. Also, go to the Barbershop Talk Live YouTube page, subscribe, like the page. Again, if you want to be a supporter of Barbershop Talk Live, please, man, please, sir, inbox me. You want to be a guest right here in the hot seat, please, man, please, sir, inbox. We'll make sure if you got anybody you want to see on the Barbershop Talk Live, we'll make sure we'll do our best to get him in this hot seat again. Thank you for tuning in, Mayor.
Yes.
You good?
I'm good.
You good? You good?
I'm good. I'm
Man,
good.
you better give me something, baby. You better give me got to be more something.
Yes, sir.
And if you're fooling me, you're doing a good job.
Thank you. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate that.
Listen, again, next week, right here in the hot seat, my good friend Jamal Brigham, Kia of Augusta, in the hot seat. Remember, new, used, trade-in, all kind of vehicles. Come see us next week at Barbershop Talk Live. Remember, listen, we're going to get out here a certain way now, Mayor.
That's right.
We get out here a certain way now. I call old rock out.
Or she call it rock out.
We just gonna rock out here.
Let's rock out.
Now, for the folks that's watching Barbershop Talk Live, we always rock out here. So I don't know what that DJ gonna give us.
Okay, all right.
I don't care if he go old school or new school, but whatever the DJ give us, we gonna rock out here with the old school.
Let's rock on
So
out
you
here.
ready to rock out here?
Let's rock on out.
You ready to rock out here?
Let's rock out.
So on the count of 3.
Okay.
When the DJ give it to us,
Okay.
we gonna rock out. You ready?
All right, let's
DJ,
go.
you ready? DJ J Will 803-215-3838 is his phone number.
It is phone
You need a DJ, give him a call at 803-215-3838. DJ J Will. You ready? You ready to rock out here?
Let's rock on
Got
out.
to be more careful. Let's rock out. We'll see you.
And now, we're live. Yes, live from James Place. And we're talking Barbershop Talk. Yes, Barbershop Talk, where nothing is off limits and everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table.
Barbershop Talk.
Come on, everybody. We're here at James Place.
Barbershop.
We're talking barbershop talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop talk.
At James Place.
Barbershop talk. Where nothing's off limits.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop talk.
At James Place. Barbershop Talk.
Everything's on the table.